How's it going? Dave from Comic Book Investments. So, another Giant Size X-Men 9/8 sold, and this time it was on Comic Connect. So we had one on Heritage that sold like a week ago. Then we had one sell on Comic Link a few days ago, and now just yesterday one ended on Comic Connect. And if you remember, the first price on Heritage was $72,000, and then $42,000 for the Comic Link. And now let's look at Comic Connects. There, it sold for $56,222 with 34 bids on it. Yeah, another 9/8 off-white to white pages, all the same. Seems to be hard to get that white pages, but how crazy is that? And if we, go through, here is the Comic Link, in case you guys don't remember. Sold for 42,000. Off-white to white pages, obviously looks amazing. And then you had the one on Heritage sell for 72,000. So, and if you look back, here's analysis of Giant Size X-Men number 1. You can look in the 9/8 and see how they've gone. This doesn't have all up-to-date data, but you have in January you had one for 22,500, and then another one for 6,000 or 60,000, and then 72,000. And yeah, just one. It's all within a few days. This sold yesterday, and this sold a few days before that, the 21st, and then this one sold on the 17th. It's just insane how much the prices can vary. And that's kind of like my whole point is when I made that video that you can save a ton of money if you just wait for the right thing. I have a graph here. Move me out of the way. But yeah, I have this graph. Move me out of the way. There we go. And you can look. So here is January's. Here's April's. April's was also Comic Connects. And then here is June 19th for 72,000, which was Heritage. And then, so on and so forth. But if you look, January's eBay, April's Comic Connect and Heritage, then Comic Link, then Comic Connect again. Actually, it sold for more on Comic Connect back in April than it did on the 24th. So two and a half months later, it sold for actually $4,000 less. And this difference is just the price between each of these numbers. So the difference between these two, it went up 167%. From the next sale from April to June on Heritage, it went up 20%, but then it dropped by 42% on Comic Link and from the previous sale. And yeah, so that's and if you average the most recent sales, these three right here, you're looking at an average of 56,000. So literally Comic Connects was the average of the two. If you average the last four sales, you're looking at about 57,000, so still around the same. And if you average since January's, you're looking at 50,000. So just judging by the last three sales, 56,000, what does that mean? That means the person that paid on Comic Connect got about market average, right? And then the person that paid on Heritage paid way too much. And then the person that paid on Comic Link got a really good deal. That's and that's my whole point, is to sit and wait and look for a good deal. So what does that mean for the market? Is it crashing? No, it's not crashing. This just happens in auctions, and just this is how all markets are for when it comes to comics and things like that. It's who you need two people that are willing to pay, and sometimes you have those two people that are like, I'm gonna bid it up to 72,000, and you just need two people to go back and forth. On Comic Link, maybe there just wasn't those two people. Maybe the guy who won it was willing to go up to 100,000, but we'll never know because he didn't have a second bidder trying to bid him up. So you really only need two people that really want it and have deep pockets. That's all you really need. Yeah, so the market's not crashing. There's fluctuations. It's kind of interesting that on Comic Connect, though, that is sold for 60,000 back in April, and then just yesterday it sold for 56. So slightly under. That means it's kind of flatlining, so to speak. If we look at this graph, It's gone straight up. But, you know, that has the 72. So next month when this graph will show, it'll show the, well, this GPA doesn't show Comic Link, but it'll show Comic Connect. It'll have dropped down. And it just comes down to how much there is out there. See, giant size X, oops, then 198. Let's look at what we have available. 90,000, 80,000, 69.5, 65,000. Yeah, so whoever bought the Heritage one, yeah, I know these are new listings. Whoever bought that, and that's another thing with Heritage is, and all the other ones that I didn't mention in my previous video, you have to pay taxes on that. That is sales tax that you have to pay. So, you know, add in another 7-8% on top of those numbers. And whoever paid the Heritage number is very foolish. There's one for 69.5. I guarantee you email this guy or whoever it is, they will drop the price a little bit. Here's one for 65,000 or best offer. You could probably get this for maybe 60. Like if you work out some kind of deal, maybe 62, 63. I don't know, whoever this person is. You have to look at what they're willing to sell. But yeah, it's, some people get caught up in the bidding war. I honestly don't think that, I don't think the market's not crashing. It's just part of how things go, and especially in the higher tier, like the super rare or super high grade top grades. They can vary so much. This so much wildly vary because it comes down to how much someone wants to pay. I think the 72,000 was way too much, in my personal opinion. I thought the 42,000 was pretty low. I thought the 56 was, you know, that seems to be the average, and that seems to be about right. I honestly thought I think if you had that book, it could go for a little more if you have it as like a buy it now compared to in auction. Auction went for 56. I see no reason why you couldn't get 60 in a buy it now to a little more than that. But I just don't. I think there's been a slowdown on some of these higher end books that have been massively going up, like the giant size, right? I'm not talking about every book, but I'm just talking about these books that have, you saw the graphers straight up. I think there's going to be like, it's kind of plateau for a little bit. I don't think the market's crashing. I mean, look at it. It just went from 72 to 42 to 56. That was so wildly different. It's like 30,000 from the top and the bottom. But yeah, so I think this is all normal stuff, not crashing. I think I've been saying I think there's going to be like a leveling out, and I think that's happening. I think the Heritage person paid way too much, shouldn't have paid that much. But yeah, if someone is commenting, it's like, oh, I guess Comic Link's the best place to get the best deals, and I've always said that Heritage always gets like the best prices. They usually do. But if you look at Comic Link compared to Comic Connect, it's not always the case. It's just who is watching, right? It just all comes down to who is watching. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say one is really better than the other because I've sold on both. I've bought on both, and they seem to be just kind of compared. I just know Heritage is leaps and bounds more, but then you have to pay for that, right? As a seller, when you put their books, you have to pay, you know, you get the buyer's premium and seller's fees. And I do know that on higher end books, and you have some kind of deal, they will negotiate around, maybe get rid of the seller fees or maybe drop the buyer's premium a little bit because they're making a ton of money. So, but yeah, I mean, I just thought that was interesting to see this like kind of like weeks stint of giant size X-Men 9/8. It's like boom, 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 boom. So it was really cool to see, and I feel like this is the end unless there's going to be another one coming up anytime soon. But yeah, all right, have a good